Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome back to another one of my videos. I am Blitz, and today I'm going to be talking about the recent buff that has just come into the K-91. And it was quite a large buff at that, raising the average damage of the K-91, which used to be sitting at 310, to now the 350. And the reason they did this is probably just because that the Italian auto-reloaders has come out right now, and they do 350 average damage per shot, and they also pretty much have the same clip potential as this tank, and judging that it takes 3.5 seconds per shot in this tank compared to the 3 that it takes in like the standard B, I think Wargaming just wanted to give this tank a little bit of a fair chance and a little bit more competitiveness in the tier 10 battles, because the K-91 before this buff was not a spectacular tank. By no means was it bad. You could definitely pull out some 3,000 games, some 4,000. I actually like the tank just because it's really funky armored, and players that don't know what it is tend to bounce it quite a bit. However, if you go against any tier 10 tank destroyers, any tier 9 tank destroyers, even most tier 8s, they're pretty much just going to pen you straight through the front. And now that they've added this extra alpha damage to the tank, it really makes it quite a bit of a tough tank to want to push on, because it deals 140 more damage in each clip, and it takes, I think, around 17 seconds to reload the entire clip, which means that you're going to be able to get around 4 extra clips in the minute. Now, that's quite a bit of extra damage now. That's 140 times 4. So you're pretty much going to be dealing 560 more damage per minute. That is a lot more damage per minute. That is a very, very large amount more. It does now 2,700 damage per minute. And the penetration on this tank is excellent. It's 260 millimeters when you run calibrated, which means that you're at the top of your tier for the penetration. Not to mention, the gun handling statistics are very, very good as well. The aiming time is only 2.08 seconds, and the dispersion is 0.326, making it one of the most accurate tier 9 heavies in the game. It's really, really accurate. Not to mention, the tank by no means is slow. It goes 40 kilometers per hour forwards and 15 backwards. And the tank is actually quite good at ramming because it weighs 61 tons. You can probably ram, let's say, like an RU-251 when you're going 40 for probably 800, which is quite a bit. And I am starting to really enjoy this tank. This buff, it may not sound like it did a lot, but that little bit of extra damage causes you to be just that little bit more aggressive. People aren't going to want to push on you because now you're a heavy, unlike the standard B. But it's really, really nice. And the tank also has 7 degrees of gun depression. Now, you got to be thinking, well, there's got to be some sort of downfall. It's got a pretty good clip, excellent gun handling statistics, which is very, very surprising for a Russian. Not to mention, it doesn't have Russian gun depression. It's actually quite a bit. And yes, there is a big downfall, and that is the armor. Now, the armor on the K-91 might not be terrible, but it definitely by no means is what you want to be using as full-on Tier 9 heavy. If you push this thing up against Tier 8 heavies, they're still going to have a very, very easy time penetrating you. And that's because the front hull of this tank is pretty weak, to be honest. It's sitting around 120 in the lower plate, and that's even when angled, so you're definitely not going to be bouncing shots in the lower plate. And that upper plate, too, you can see it right in between the tracks. That upper plate is still only about 200 to 220 thick, which means you're not going to be bouncing anything in the tank, really. Tier 8 are going to pen you, Tier 9 are going to easily pen you, and Tier 10 don't even get me started on that. 183s can really make quick work of this tank, so make sure you stay away from the Hesh. And the turret also isn't super spectacular. However, you can see the turret is really, really funky, which does make it a tough target to penetrate if you don't know what you're aiming at. And the nice thing about the K-91 is it's such a rare tank to find on the enemy battlefields or even your teams that nobody really knows how to take this thing out. And the really just best thing about the tank's armor is the side-scraping abilities. And that's because you can see that the whole tank is completely flat. The whole side of it, which means that you can really, really easily just get a 90-degree angle, side-scrape it out, back it up on a little bit of an angle, snap them with all 3 of your shells, and go back in the side-scraping. And the really cool thing about this tank is the entire side of it is completely spaced armor. It doesn't look like it, but it actually is. which works as quite a bit of extra protection, and that's really, really nice because people think that it's not spaced, they shoot at it, and it just doesn't penetrate. And you can see there, that little tap did 256 damage. I still haven't figured out why the K-91 is such a good vehicle at ramming, but I'm definitely not going to complain because I really enjoy it. And you can see again that excellent gun handling, 1 shell into that ST1 and 2 into him. It's just really, really good. I would actually rate this gun handling one of the best, even for tier 10 vehicles. It's really excellent. And that's what really sells the tank for me, is that you can run an autoloader that is like a medium, it's got some heavy armors, you can run it like a heavy, and not to mention it's got an accurate gun, it's got a pretty mean clip as well now. Overall, I'm actually really enjoying the tank, and it's got heavy tank hit points too, 1800. Tank's not slow. I really think this is one of the most balanced tanks at tier 9 right now, just because. And I pulled out this tank for about 5 games, and these are the games I pulled out in it, you can see here. Now, unfortunately, no masteries for probably this whole week while the Uprising event is going on, but you can still see 86,000 credits. It earns very, very good credits because it is a premium tank. It also gets pretty good damage now. And I think the tank looks cool. The really nice thing about it is it's not ugly, and it's unique. And as you guys know, I really like unique tanks in Blitz because I'd rather play a tank that looks cool, unique, has a different playstyle in the battlefield than just the same thing over and over and over, winning every battle. The K-91 by no means is overpowered. And what that means is you're still going to have to earn your victories. But when you do earn them, you can get much, much more rewarding payouts now in this tank, just because of that extra damage. You're not as scared when you're pushing on the enemy, and it's really just a really nice buff in my opinion. I think Wargaming, kudos to you, you did a good job. Let's just hope you keep up the good work. And I hope you guys did enjoy this video. As always, if you did, make sure to smash that like button. If you didn't, hit me with a downvote. Let me know why you didn't. Tell me why you hate this tank or just why you disagree with me. Other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to subscribe.